Hey, welcome back, friends. We are starting on block number 2 of the series. This is going to be our half double crochet. So to get started, I have done 29 stitches on my chain. And just like last time when we were starting out, we're going to skip the very first stitch, and that's going to help give us our height, and we're going to be anchoring down or inserting into the second stitch. Now, the single crochet, we were not trying to make that row very tall each time. This time we're going to start building some height on these stitches. So before we insert our hook into that second stitch, we're going to yarn over and then push into that second stitch. Just like last time, that thing that I like to call anchoring down, you're going to yarn over and just pull back through the stitch that you have inserted. So we've set everything up. We're ready to do our half double crochet stitch. Now for this one, you're simply going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops that are now on your hook. Now, if you just pull straight, you're probably going to get snagged. So add that little twist and gently pull through all 3. Okay, stitch number 2, we are going to yarn over, we were just here, so find the next stitch down, insert, yarn over, pull back out and anchor down. We've got 3 loops on our hook, just like we want. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And that is a half double crochet. As you continue going down the row, one thing that you'll notice that is different than the single crochet is that these stitches are a little bit taller. So we have a bit of extra yarn because of looping over before we insert. So now we have a taller, slightly looser style stitch. Okay. Go all the way down. You should have 28 by the time you have reached the end. I'm at my last stitch of the row, number 28. If you're not quite sure, what you do to count is you locate the top of each stitch. It kind of looks like a teardrop, and you count each one. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. You can backtrack all the way to 28. So now that we are ready, we flip this project over like a book. We're going to chain 1 to build some height, yarn over, and we're inserting into our first stitch of the row. So we're going to be inserting through the whole stitch, meaning you're going through both loops of that stitch. Yarn over, anchor down. We now have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3. That was stitch number 1. Yarn over first, push through, and again you're going through the whole stitch, so that should be both loops. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and through all 3. Okay, one more time, yarn over. This is number 3. Anchor that down. All right, as we get to the end of the row, If you're not sure if you're only supposed to do 2 more and you don't think that that's a stitch, or maybe we are supposed to do 3, it can get a little tricky, right? So we had chained 1 in order to help build some height before we went that direction. So the safest bet, even though it's annoying, is just to go back and count how many stitches you've done on this row. So we are going to figure out exactly where that row ended below. Okay, that means that this is a chain 1 piece above it, and we're going to count this as our first stitch. So I can barely make out what looks like my little teardrop shape. That's my chain 1. It's a little scrunched up. So stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is currently where I've just ended. So I need to do 3 more stitches to hit 28. So yarn over, insert into that next stitch. So that's 26. Yarn over, 27. And look at that, even though it's a little curved and bendy, that really is your last stitch of the row. Really important as you're first starting out to count stitches until you get used to seeing what these look like and identifying if it's a stitch or just your chain 1 piece. Counting can save your life. Otherwise, you're going to end up with blocks that are just wiggling and dipping in and going all over the place. So we want to keep them nice and straight. All right, so starting your 3rd row, chain 1, yarn over, anchor into that first stitch, and yarn over, pull through 3. All right, friends, I'm going to see you once we start building enough height to come back and have a full square. Just like last time, we'll check if we have a full square by folding corner to corner and seeing if that matches up as a triangle. So we'll come right back and figure out how many rows that is. See you soon. All right, friends, so my block is finished. You'll notice that this is, again, just a slightly taller stitch than the single crochet was. And that is because we have a little bit of extra yarn wrapped around each stitch from wrapping your hook or yarning over before inserting into the stitch. Now I have a fairly loose stitch overall. That's just kind of the style of crochet that I have. And my block ended up being about 19 rows tall. And I'm now able to fold corner to corner to help verify that I do have a nice clean square. The edge that I'm checking is the first row. That one's naturally going to just be a little bit tighter and everything will loosen up above it. So I'm using that first row edging to make sure that I have a clean corner to corner triangle. And again, mine was 19 rows. If you find you have a tighter stitch, I would just expect that you have more rows than 19. But ultimately, you just want to end up having a square that is even, and that is 28 stitches across. So I'm going to wrap up with my edging and blocking. You can refer to the video for that, but you should have 28 stitches around each edge. And set this on your blocking board so we can move on to our next block for next week. That's going to be our double crochet. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye!